Xbox Creations Review. Fight mechs and walkers with mods. Hello everyone, this is Richard. Welcome to Starfield Essentials. Signs of mechs are everywhere in Starfield. While we cannot yet drive them, thanks to creations and mods, we can now fight them. This video looks at 2 mech mods and 1 Star Wars Walker mod. Let's start with the Mech Overlord boss by Inquisitor. Inquisitor is a prolific modder with tons of mods on Nexus and Creations. The Mech Overlord boss is a giant monster mech with 200,000 health points, very high armor, and damaging weapons. After you enable this mod, you can find it waiting for you at the one-of-a-kind salvage yard on Nira in the Narion system. I usually play with very hard combat settings for players and enemies. I found that this made it too difficult to inflict damage on the Mech Overlord boss. I switched my player combat damage to normal to speed up the engagement. I tried fighting this boss twice. During the first battle, at one point it just launched straight up into the air. I don't know what happened to it. I reloaded to save and tried a second time. In this instance, I found myself under the mech. I just stayed there shooting upwards until I destroyed it. It was awkward, but effective. If you beat this boss, it yields a ton of loot on its remains. Don't forget that it is protecting a loot chest out in the salvage yard. There are some epic legendaries waiting. It might make sense to lure the mech away from its loot chest, steal the weapons, and use them against the boss. This was a fun battle, and I look forward to trying more mods from Inquisitor. By the way, in my video on the 1500 NPC battle, I pitched a company of UC Marines against this Mech Overlord. See how they fared in that video, linked in the description. Now let's look at Mech Enemies by Radiclown. These mechs are based on upscaled Model A robots with modified skeletons. They use a minigun and rocket and grenade launchers that fire in bursts, so don't stand in one place and bang with these guys. You can find them in the following locations. I chose to fight them at the Mars Mech Factory because it is a fixed POI. I first fought it with my character and followers, mainly by sniping it. After winning the battle, I was able to sleep on Venus to reset the location. When I returned, I spawned a platoon of UC Marines to help me. We made quick work of it. This enemy has a much more limited set of loot compared to the Mech Overlord, but I like seeing that this mech had contraband mech parts. It would be nice to see several of these in one location, too. Later, I also happened to find this mech at the abandoned weapon station. Unfortunately, it spawned inside a building and got stuck in the wall. I ended up destroying it by shooting it in the legs. This mech is a fun challenge and a nice addition to POIs. Finally, here is the AT-ST Walker. Creations doesn't like searching for AT-ST, so you can find it by viewing more by the author Radiclown, or by searching for enemies. I saw the original 1977 movie in the theater when I was 5, so I've always had a Star Wars obsession. This walker is very similar to the mech enemy, except it has a laser cannon instead of a minigun. You can find the walker at these locations. I traveled again to the Mars Mech Factory to encounter this adversary. I disabled the mech mod before the battle. The last time I played a Star Wars themed game was probably 30 years ago, when the original X-Wing and TIE Fighter games were released. For me, there is something special about seeing a walker strutting its way across a battlefield. This particular content fits perfectly well within the Starfield environment. I fought this enemy solo, and then later with a squad of UC Marines. One of my favorite aspects of this mod is that you can acquire a Walker soldier uniform and helmet after defeating it. This is a pretty cool set of apparel. Overall, I really enjoyed all 3 of these mods. Particularly for the Mech Enemy and ATST, it would be fun to have more than one at a location. The Mech Overlord makes sense as a solo big boss because it is so difficult to defeat. Have you tried any of these creations or mods? Which is your favorite? What changes would you like to see? If you made it to this part of the video, let me know by leaving a comment with the phrase, "Before the Dark Times, before the Empire." If you enjoy this content, please feel free to like and subscribe. Also, remember to ring the bell icon and select all notifications to show your appreciation for these mods. Check out my other Starfield mods reviews if you like this sort of play. My name is Richard. I will see you in the Starfield.